Greetings, I'm Empress Aziza. This is part 2 to the feminine essence. This is entitled The Mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It transforms and changes our metabolism and its hormonal pathways. The amount of light frequency held by the cells and tissues of the body is directly related to the degree of mitochondrial function. Light is a frequency, radiant energy. With each full moon and lunar eclipse, the cosmic waters in the astral plane undergo reconfiguration to extract the Dark Mother alien architecture to reclaim the Divine Mother creation seed. The mitochondria is inherited solely from the mother. The mitochondria has its own genetic material, the mechanisms to manufacture their own RNA and new proteins. This process is called the protein biosynthesis. Protein biosynthesis refers to a process whereby biological cells generate new sets of proteins. If the mitochondrial DNA is not functioning properly, humanity cannot effectively generate new proteins for DNA synthesis, nor store the ATP required to generate the light from the cell to embody our spiritual consciousness. Because of the damage done to the mitochondria, humanity is grossly addicted to consuming everything in the external world to fill the energy void within our cells. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It measures the amount of light quotient held by the cell and tissues of the body and is directly related to the embodiment of spiritual consciousness, which is energy that is critical for cell metabolism. The Dark Mother was generated from the negative alien agenda, which are called the Archons. They harvest the lunar magnetic and constellation forces to enforce patriarchal domination, mind control on Earth. By hijacking the mother creation seed, this caused her womb to produce low and vibrational entities. These low entities are now running amok all over the planet. The Archons have lost their consciousness connection to the God source and are utilizing human beings as their food source to live millions of years. The Archons have been extracting the mitochondrial DNA from the earth, thereby inserting their Dark Mother energy in its place. This affected the grid by mimicking the functioning of the mother seed. Since this hijacking, it cut us off from the mother principle or consciousness that is recorded in our cells, which is called the mitochondrial DNA. Through the raising of the mitochondrial or the matriarchal vibration, this has helped to restore the energy to the mitochondrial DNA. When this is functioning, then the ATP levels increase, which generate more light to the cell. This is why we are changing from carbon to one of a crystal being. The crystate, which expands to intermitochondrial membrane, enhances the ATP, which in turn activates the crystal silicate. This silicate matrix allows for interdimensional travel by repairing the DNA. Originally, before Atlantis, we had 24 strands, which was created by the Oraphim. The Oraphim was the first light of manifestation of the Emerald Order. These 24 strands were called the double diamond strand or double diamond sun body. The diamond sun body DNA is the 12 strands that we are trying to get back to. Right now, we only have 2 strands. One of the diseases of poorly functioning mitochondrial DNA is aging. This is why people who took the shot are dying quicker, and diseases they didn't have manifest faster. Their mitochondrial DNA was compromised. Hence, their personal energy depletes faster. During the ascension cycle, the awakened indigo females are reclaiming the universal Holy Mother creation seed for the earth. restoration of the Cathar body, as this is recorded in the original spark of the mitochondrial DNA. The Cathar or Cathara were part of the Essenes, Christos Templar, which were formed with a higher divine purpose to serve and protect the Mother of God principle, that is, the 12 Stargate network. The raising of the feminine activates the Ark of Covenant. What is the Ark of Covenant? The Ark of Covenant is the pineal gland, which is the mercy seat. Tiny crystals inside the pineal gland act as a transmitter for the very high frequency vibrations of the light of love. This is the love from the Father within. The pineal gland provides for the presence and expression of love in the physical world. It works in partnership with the mother gland, the pituitary gland, the milk and honey. The Ark of Covenant, the pineal, connects to the 0 point energy. The pituitary opens up to the crystal flower grid deep in the planetary grid network, thus returning the creation codes to heal, which holds the universal mother creation principle, which can be used for impact manifestation of opening the stargates. The Cathar code is needed at this time in order to return the energetic balance into the feminine principle, to dissolve the dark mother lunar principle, and return to source. Thank you for listening. I am Empress Aziza of the Sovereign Wawani Nation State and Sacred Sister Soul Talk. Now that you know about the mitochondrial DNA and its power, what do you think? Here, data tells us about the DNA sequencing to our bodies that can be adjusted because of the new power of the sun. I am Empress Aziza. Follow me for more.
Was the DNA upgrade, and those of us that got it naturally and got over it naturally will be able to endure this new sun. Now, let's talk about it. If you can't tell by now that something is different with the sun, well, you just haven't been paying attention. It's a lot brighter. It's a lot whiter. And it almost hurts to get up under those sun rays right now. And for those that used to sun gaze, well, that's out the window too. But what if I told you, and this is a hypothesis only TikTok, for entertainment and educational purposes only TikTok, but what if I told you my hypothesis is this: what we call COVID and what they told us leaked from a lab in Wuhan is bullshit? What if it's nothing more than acute radiation syndrome or sudden acute radiation syndrome? We could call it SARS. Now, since the April 8th eclipse, we all know that something drastically changed with the sun. What changed? We're not sure of, but we are sure that it's a lot brighter and a lot whiter. But since then, also, we've had a lot of reports of people feeling dizziness, a lot of fatigue, nauseated, vomiting. And if you go and do the research on acute radiation syndrome, well, check out the symptoms. So these are some of the symptoms: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, severe headache, fever, dizziness or disorientation, weakness, fainting, hair loss, blood count, low blood count, or bleeding or bruising. And as you can see here, it shares a lot of the same symptoms as... Exactly. And where's that excessive radiation coming from? Well, I'm in North Carolina, and I had the Northern Lights in North Carolina, the Aurora Borealis, which usually comes no further south than Alaska, which means that there is an abundance of radiation on the planet right now. Now, what if our bodies getting sick and getting over it naturally was a way of it changing with the sun? What if what's going on with the sun is absolutely natural, and our governments have us discombobulated with all the information? And when they said that people were going to start having a hard time living on this planet under the sun, This is what they meant right here. And my other hypothesis is those that they didn't get the DNA upgrade, they got the RNA downgrade, which kept them from getting the upgrade, the natural upgrade, and being able to survive under this new sun. What does that mean? This is a hypothesis only. I hypothetically think that at some point, some that will start getting sick. And when they get sick, their bodies hadn't received that DNA upgrade and beat it naturally. So they're not going to be able to fight off what it is that's coming. So we know that they plan that there's supposed to be a pandemic a lot worse sometime in the future. We don't know if it's near. We don't know if it's far. But Bill Gates said he promised us that there was going to be another pandemic. And we'd have wished that we learned from the first one. All right. Now, just imagine, once again, this is a hypothesis, that those that caught COVID naturally when the sun was changing and radiating this planet more, and their bodies naturally gotten over it, received the DNA upgrade. That means that if their bodies beat it, it literally rewrote their immune system, and that will be passed on in their DNA. Those who had the RNA, mRNA put inside of them had a DNA sequence added. Remember? You guys remember the double helix? Now it's a triple helix, something like that. So not the same upgrades. So hypothesis only, but this could be interesting to see. You all remember when they said those that had 3 to 5 years? That right there is absolutely asinine to me. But if COVID was actually natural because of the sun and the change, then that would mean that some of us, or some of y'all who did not receive that upgrade, and you will have a hard time living on this planet in the future, the upcoming future, here sometime soon. So once again, what if COVID was natural and nothing more than an upgrade to the human immune system? And the mRNA blocked that. Hypothesis only. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Once again, TikTok.